Did someone say co-video house?
Well, we welcome you to COYOTE house. No one's got COVID at COYOTE house. Only catch good vibes at COYOTE house. A pandemic of fun.
Thick, deep dish pizza is the superior type of crust.
No, I do not agree.
No is the answer to that.
No, I don't agree.
As
But we're
John Stewart would say, not only is it not superior, it's not pizza. It's a casserole.
I will say this. I had a real authentic Chicago deep dish pizza for the first time. It was like a month or two before the pandemic, and it was delicious, but I still prefer to have the thin crust.
here's the thing: it's bread and cheese. It's gonna be delicious, but the best way for it to be done.
Well, but I've had really bad deep dish pizza that kind of completely ruined my opinion of it. But then I tried a real one, and it was good.
I think if you have too much deep dish, you can have more thin crust pizza,
which I don't like,
because it doesn't get you as full.
That's
because
right.
you have one slice of deep dish, you're like, oh, and now I'm full because I had so much bread.
well, no one should be eating half a pizza on their own, anyways.
I mean, I eat half a pizza on my own every
Same.
time.
I mean, why get the full pizza if you're not going to eat half of it and then the other half?
The
the end
crust
of the day?
is a topping and cheese delivery mechanism and sauce.
Yes.
That's what it's there for. It's to get those items to your mouth, and then that's it. It's not supposed to be filler. You're not supposed to fill the pizza with all that. That's not how it works.
I agree with this.
More
You
sauce.
two like thin crust, right?
Yeah.
Mari?
Thin.
Oh, see, no, I'm not a thin crust individual.
Oh,
I
you're a
like
monster.
normal crust. I like normal
Monster.
crust.
but
But you don't like deep dish.
No. I don't know. Deep
Okay.
dish is wrong.
Deep dish is something else.
Yeah. Wait, are the only people that like deep dish from the Chicago area where they're like, nah, man, this is how you do pizza. It's got to be
Yes.
deep dish. And not any deep dish. You got to go down to the corner of 6th and 7th, and then you ask for Sally. Now, Sally isn't a real person. It's a type of pizza, you see, and that's the best deep dish. That's the only type of person that likes deep dish.
If you were offended by Jovin's Chicago accent and you're from Chicago, we're going to flash his address on the screen. Go to his house.
Pop it up
and
there.
beat him up for Chicago.
I deserved it. For Chicago. Chicago.
See, that's offensive.
Cancel me, Daddy. Cancel me.
Artist asks, who would win in a fight, a billion lions or all the Pokemon?
It would be Pokemon because there are literally some Pokemon that are gods, if I understand that correctly. Also, you have so many flyer
What are
types.
the lions going to do against the flying Pokemon? It doesn't matter how many there are. Ooh, unless they made some kind of lion ladder up to get them.
Yeah, there's a billion lions.
Well, then you just fly higher.
Nah, because they're going to have to land to fight,
You're telling me that a Moltres can't just
Yeah, they can fight
Khaleesi
from
this whole thing and just be flying by and just burning all the lions?
I mean, but also, sometimes, a wave hits a Pokemon and they faint,
That's
It's
true.
It's some of them are little bitches.
Well, don't get me wrong. Your Meowths are gonna die first. I don't know why.
Not all the
hated on
Pokemon are
Meowth,
going to live.
Well, the
Yeah.
Meowth might, join the ranks of the
And
lions.
it's one of each Pokemon, right? So we're looking at 1,000 versus a billion.
Oh, yeah, they might just
Yeah, no,
get
the
tired
billion
of
would
running
win.
attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like a lion wouldn't attack all of those, though. It's not going to attack, like a Bulbasaur because it's not meat,
What isn't it?
isn't it?
It's a plant type Pokemon, but
gonna
it's
attack.
Is
not
there
made
meat
out of a
inside
plant.
of a plant type Pokemon?
Yeah,
or
they're
is it
meaty.
made out
This
of
is a better
plant?
question. It is Bulbasaur.
Made of
Made of
Um,
Made of
Could you
meat.
cook up and eat a Bulbasaur? Yes.
Yeah.
It has flowers on it, but it definitely
But it's
has
fleshy.
It's like a frog thing looking
Yeah.
thing.
Regardless of whether or not they can eat it, they just can't beat a Steelix. It's never gonna happen.
I feel
no
like
matter how many
Abra
lions
would
you
mess
have.
up a bunch of lions, Kadabra would mess up, and then Alakazam would mess up a ton of lions.
Is Gengar made out of meat?
No,
He's
Made
a
of
ghost.
he was at some point.
Can you hug a Gengar?
He can lick you, so yes.
Can
Yeah, so it's physical.
So it is physical, so is it meat?
I guess
Can
so.
you cook up a Gengar? I don't know why I want to eat all of
It's
them.
not that it's a ghost. It's a ghost type
in the
Pokemon.
same way that Bulbasaur is a
Yeah,
plant.
kind of like
And
Nightcrawler
I-
can vanish. A ghost type Pokemon can vanish.
Fun
Right.
fact about Gengars, they actually mate in groups. This phenomenon is called the Gengar gangbang. It's a real thing. Check your Pokédexes. I think you'll find that I'm absolutely correct.
Oh.
I have an immediate answer for what's the grossest smell you've ever smelled? And the answer,
Excluding Present Company.
The answer for me is Joven's fart when the Germans were visiting.
That was like a raw meat fart too.
It was.
Raw meat. Why were you eating raw meat?
He undercooked his food at Gyukaku.
Oh, is this the time
the
that you
Gyukaku
ate
fart.
raw
and weren't you
chicken?
having like magnesium or something that was making you
Yeah,
some weird thing that
it was a
making
bad
you fart?
combination.
Okay,
of
hold on.
things.
Tell the whole story.
So,
Okay,
Gronk and Salazar.
Yeah, Sarazar.
Sarazar.
Yeah.
They were German
Charizard.
YouTubers that came over to the States to work with a bunch of different collaborations.
Yeah, they had like a house where they were
had a house,
filming
yeah.
videos and stuff.
And we got to film with them. But before that, we were hanging out. We went to Gyukaku, some Japanese barbecue. Grill it
Delicious, by the
yourselves.
way.
Yeah.
Where you
Hashtag
cook up
ad.
your own food. So
Yes.
you are responsible for barbecuing your own, which is why
Important.
Joven
said
undercooked
person
it.
undercooked
Yes.
his food.
But you know, like you're putting your meat on there, so you don't want to like take up too much space. You're like, all right, this one's done.
And
Sorry, yeah, go ahead and put your meat on there.
After Gyukaku, we went back to the Smosh Games studio to film some videos.
And it was like the second, technically the second office that we had,
And we're
but it
in
was
the office,
still very small.
And Joven farted, and it
was silent.
smelled so horrific. And I looked at Joven's face, and I immediately knew that it was him.
And you hear me, I'm like, don't.
And bless him, Gronk smells this fart, and all he says is, "Ooh, stinky."
We literally had to stop shooting.
It was
and
awful.
open the door. And
This is
leave
my
the room.
question. Do you think they still talk about this movie?
I hope so. I truly hope so.
I
Like,
don't know, I've
when we
been-
see them, like they'll be like, "Hey."
I don't know. I've been to Gamescom. There's some smelly Germans, you know.
Well, I think it's a natural thing. Again, normalize farts, people. Just normalize them. They happen.
All right. This was probably when I was like maybe 5th or 6th grade. I was really sick. One of those like nasal head colds, you know. So lots of like snot.
She needs
Lots
some
of
Aleve D.
loogies, yeah. And so I was sick for like a week maybe, and stayed home from school. And I had a cup where I would loogie into because I didn't want to get out of bed. I stopped using like tissue paper for whatever reason. I don't know. I was young. I don't know. I don't
Tissue
know. I'm not
paper?
really sure, but I stopped, and it just kept going into the same cup. And then I recover from the cold.
I'm gonna throw up.
And then
This is
maybe
gross.
like I don't know how long of time passed, but the cup existed, and then I found it, and for whatever reason, I was like, oh, this is my spit cup. And I go to sniff it, and
Why would you sniff it?
I don't know. I have
Find
to
an
just
old
say-
loogie cup, and your first reaction is like, I should
was-
smell this.
it
It's
was
morbid
like-
curiosity.
Oh yeah, it was morbid curiosity. It was like I have to remember that it was like not crusted dry, but it was still it was dried loogie, so it was still a little slimy. That smell still stays with me. It haunts me.
Ew.
It was such a. It smelled like if you just took like a scrape of like your bowels, you know,
Ah.
with bile
it smelled
build
like
up and like
poo?
acid. No, like bile. You know, like just kind of like
Stomach
the inside
acid.
of your stomach.
I don't like this one anymore.
Smell you get when you throw
This
up.
is the retention in this
Yeah.
episode is way shorter.
All right, go
Do you want me
ahead.
to be more descriptive?
No. I would say the smelliest, the worst smelling thing I've ever smelled is probably a Joven fart. And though it does not stop me in
I
my
like how you
tracks, like
say it like it's not your fart. You say it like it's Joven fart,
It's a
as if
Joven
it's somebody
fart. Joven
else.
fart.
because I
Yeah.
can't think of anything
have you
that
guys-
has stopped me as much as my fart has stopped someone else.
Have you guys ever farted and been like, oh, that smells bad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But like I could sit
but
through
like-
it.
right.
Like get that it's bad.
Joven, if you could encapsulate how your fart smells and then
To give
like,
you an
put it-
idea.
put it like into a perfume, and then we could have a show that's
No.
perfume
Someone-
or Joven fart.
But no, you're missing the whole point of the show. That's very easy to tell. The
I-
thing with soap or cheese is I think it might actually be difficult.
Okay, fine. It's a show where you have to, no matter what, you pick which one, you have to spray it on, and then you got to go on a Tinder date with whatever it is.
That's good.
I think how we do this is if you could encapsulate it, you have a trivia show, and if someone buzzes in and gets the wrong answer, instead of losing points, a pod comes down, and then the room fills with Joven farts.
I don't like this game.
And then you have to try and complete the show with
the
that.
next question.
Yeah. By the way, you're all too like like happy and like satisfied with yourself with your farts. I'll run away from my farts.
Really?
Like,
Is that
yeah.
why you're running all the time?
Yeah, that's why I jog.
that makes
I need to jog
sense.
more clearly, but I need to fart more, I guess.
New question in Mari's box is smartphone. Does it make us stupid? Or do smartphones make us stupid?
Yeah, so in some ways, I
In
think it's
GPS.
the Google phenomenon. It's just that the information's at your fingertips, so you don't retain anything.
I concur in the sense that how many times do we just mindlessly like scroll through an app and not retain anything? Because it's not always just like I've Googled something and I don't need to remember math because I will always have a calculator. I think that's fine because you still need to know the context of when to use said math or information. But I think it does turn off our brains to like, what was like when you name one picture you saw on Instagram today?
Dog.
Dog.
Dog. Yeah, you saw the dog?
Dog, yeah, it was.
Yeah, we saw a dog. Lasercorn and I saw
Saw
a
the
dog.
same dog.
There
Got
was a cosplay photo I remember.
Okay. Was it a butt?
He remembers. Vividly.
I think I get GPS stupid. Like, I think I had a better sense of direction before smartphones, but now I don't even try. I'm just like, this is where I need to go. And then I just follow it.
I do the opposite. Once I've used my GPS to get somewhere once, I try and go as far as I can from memory before I turn it back on. And then, like, eventually I just know how to get places.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
a good use
That's
of it.
good.
I will always use GPS because it is a tool that we have and we should never be without it now. That being said, if I miss a turn, I do have like a sense of direction where I'm like, I could probably get back to that street if my GPS turned off right now.
How many phone numbers did you use to remember versus now?
All of them.
Like I still remember, like there's phone numbers from my childhood that I still remember. Like I know my grandmother's home number still.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my home number from when I was a kid. I remember my friend's phone number from when I was a kid. But I forgot most of them. But I used to know everyone's number in like my neighborhood by
You
heart.
should always remember and memorize an emergency contact number.
Yes.
If my phone
At the
breaks
very
or if I
least.
go to jail, that was my fear. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to need to know like my wife's phone number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big question. Do you know your SO's phone number?
I do.
I know mine.
But like,
It's also on my dog's collar.
he
that's why I know
changed
it.
it like midway through a relationship, and like the second time that I had to learn it, a new one, it was like impossible for months.
I do phone numbers by shape. I know what the shape should look like.
Weird.
Oh my gosh. I know that I've known you guys for almost a
Oh, I don't know your
decade, and
guys'
I
phone
can't
numbers.
even.
No.
I don't have
Yeah, I don't
no
know your
idea what
guys.
it even starts with. A 2?
No,
Is there 2 in there?
no, not at all.
Yeah, so that's where
I feel
we're at.
like maybe a 5.
No, yeah,
There's
yeah.
a 5 in there?
You know me so well, dude. Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
any numbers in mine?
Oh, there's a 1 in there.
Nope.
At the very start.
Nope. Oh,
That-
one.
Yeah.
This is how like those like I communicate with the dead psychics operate. I'm getting a 5. Is there a 5?
Is there a 5?
Someone in the room has a 5 in their phone number. You ma'am. You must
You-
be
you
who I'm
get a
connecting
5.
with. There's a 5 in there. And Night Saturn. Ooh, cool name. These are from
Ooh,
Twitter.
yeah,
No,
this is
cool
this is from
Twitter handle.
YouTube.
YouTube comment.
Cool
YouTube comment.
Are we losing interest towards physical media, music, games, movies? I would say in the case of games, interest is growing.
Growing.
Like it's experienced a huge resurgence, and like I have gotten back into board games a lot more than I have, which I think is a very physical medium, moving stuff around.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
I think physicals, like, what I read from that was like some physical copies of things, like
music, games,
Like
Oh,
DVDs,
physical versus-
like CDs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
100%.
and 100% because it used to be functional. You bought a DVD because you're like, I need this to watch the movie again.
Yeah.
But now it's just a collector's item because you can watch it anywhere on any streaming service at any time.
I feel like there's always money to be made with those DVDs, and so that's why you'll never get bonus features that are like not on the disc. And like Netflix has a special section for that. It also like it's just something we should get away from because the amount of waste that it creates. We don't need DVDs or anything. We don't need video games. I'm thinking video game systems really like Just download a game.
That's a good point. They all
Yeah.
come with
Yeah,
tons of
but
plastic and stuff.
what about
I
like
got
cloud? Like, there's not enough memory sometimes to have all your games.
Well,
like,
no, that's
on
why it
your-
goes up in the cloud, and then if you want to play a game again, you just re-download the
I
game.
got-
Yeah, with Switch, you can
um,
archive anything
Yeah.
you want.
That's
now.
why I like
guess
the.
so.
I got the PlayStation Digital for the PS5. Yeah.
You don't need.
Can
you don't need.
archive stuff on that? Because the Switch has the ability to just you archive it and then you can re-download it whenever you want.
I
But
think
Yeah,
so.
it's
I mean,
just
archived,
you,
it
I
doesn't-
you own the
downloaded-
title.
Yeah.
I downloaded games from my PS4 onto my PS5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But it keeps all your save data and stuff. I think that's what they mean by archive. So the
Oh.
main game data goes away.
not
But if you re-download
positive.
it, you're right back where you.
The
I don't know.
They're like with music, it's interesting because there's at least a quality difference. No, I guess there's a quality
is.
difference between Netflix and owning something on DVD. So there is.
I don't know. Do
to
you got
some
the
degree.
Criterion collection? Because there's high quality. I don't know.
So records came back. Cassettes are still kind of like a thing where people are like, "Oh man, if you've got one, it's dope." If we're going more and more into the direction of digital and that's all we have, in like 30, 40 years, are people going to be like, oh, you have a physical copy of whatever? Is it going to be worth more because somebody
There's
has
some. Yeah, I think so. For
Yeah.
sure.
I think some of this stuff will become collector's items, definitely.
But also remember, a collector's item is only worth so much money if someone is willing to spend that money on it.
Well, at a time where people are spending money on NFTs and things that are just completely digital and baseball cards and whatnot, there's a possibility that people will buy
maybe,
anything.
Maybe if you made an NFT about, it's like a Joven fart
Okay,
NFT.
next question.
It's a non-fungible toot.
Non-fungible toot.
Guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Mari's Box.
What's in Mari's
What's
Box?
in Mari's Box? Or Weird Box? I'm not really sure what the name of the show
What's
is.
in
just
Mari's
yet.
Box?
Go
Mystery
buy
box.
Mari's ABXY
get the
bag.
bag.
Yeah, get the bag.
What's
You gotta
in Mari's
switch.
mystery machine because he's the M alliteration.
That's Lasercorn and Joven. This is Zoe Hinky. Follow them on social, and we'll see you next week.